Guys, the hardest thing in life isn't doing this stuff. It isn't pushing past your comfort, reaching new levels, getting knocked on your ass. That's not the hard part. The hard part is when you no longer have the time to do it anymore, and you didn't achieve everything you wanted. Looking back on your life, knowing there were moments, pockets throughout your existence, where you could have applied yourself. It will be greater than you can imagine, and harder than you think. But isn't that the point? That's what makes it valuable. You cannot get the outcome without becoming the person who deserves it. That's why it's rare. That's why it's worth it. The Mamba mentality simply means trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. Every day, you're trying to become better. It's a constant quest. An infinite quest. We all have dreams. And sometimes, it's very scary to accept the dream you have. It's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. You're scared because if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail. So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it no matter what. Go for it. Your competition isn't other people. It's your own self-doubt, your own laziness, your own excuses. Too many people waste time focusing on what others are doing instead of locking in on themselves. But here's the truth, the only person stopping you from reaching your goals and dreams is you. People struggle to do things alone. The path of the exceptional person is one of an exception, which means you are not with other people. Rather than fighting that or bemoaning it, see it as an indicator you're on the right path. If everyone were cheering you on, it would mean you're just like everyone else, and that's not where you want to be. One of the starting points of great achievement is to begin questioning those self-limiting beliefs. Throw them off. Act as if they do not exist. And when you act as if they didn't exist, lo and behold, they simply disappear. We live our lives as a result of the story we believe about ourselves. You live in a dominant culture designed to destroy your sense of self and your belief in yourself. You have to learn ways to connect with the power you have within to handle where you are. The key is to be in a perpetual process of discovering the truth of who you are, fighting constantly to escape the inner conversation that holds you back. Wherever you are right now is just temporary. Young people, you won't get here without effort. You just have to try. I failed. I've failed more times than anybody here, I promise you. You have to understand, if you don't execute on the plan, if you don't get up in the morning when you're tired, scared, if you don't execute, you're not just cheating yourself. You're cheating your family. Your employees. Your team. Whatever you're a part of, it's bigger than you. What is faith? What is fear? They're both made up. No one knows the future. They're both your imagination. Whether you have faith or fear, the only difference is fear is imagination undirected. It's like weeds, fear grows automatically. Faith is you deciding to trust and keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Trust that life is happening for you, not to you. And if you keep going, it will open. What do you do when 1,000 other people want exactly what you want? What if you're not the only one? You have to outwork them. Treat yourself like you're someone responsible for helping. That doesn't mean be nice to yourself. It doesn't mean give yourself an easy life. That isn't actually what you do for people you care for. If you care for them, you present them with an optimal challenge. First, assume you're worth taking care of, that it's your responsibility to do so. Even if you don't like yourself very much, and lots of people don't, for their reasons, you have to abandon all that. Treat yourself like you're someone you're responsible for helping. The problem most of us have is we think we're all alone. We think we're the only ones going through this stuff. Your vision becomes very narrow. What happened to me was I peeled back. I got on top of a mountaintop in my head. From that height, you have a great vantage point. I looked down at the world and realized, we are all of us jacked up. Some hide it better than others, but we're all jacked up. Once you realize that, you've got to come out of your shell. Accept who you are. Accept the demons life gave you, whoever gave them to you. You've got to be able to look in the mirror, look yourself in the eye, and say, okay, I'm going to start fixing these things. But if you think you're by yourself, the reality of your life becomes horrible. And you're not. We are all jacked up. Once you realize that, man, it's like, whatever. You don't even look at the crowd anymore. You run your own race, do your own thing, and finally find out who you're supposed to be in this life. Every visionary was initially called crazy before they were revered. The very nature of disrupting your industry, of disrupting a bored, exhausted, hate-filled world, means there will be people who throw rocks at you. Take the rocks your haters throw and build them into monuments of mastery, a testimony to humanity. They print money. They don't print time. They don't print opportunities. You can lose money and get it back. You can't get time back. You can't get experiences back. Average people focus on money. The greats focus on time. For me, the most important thing was to leave no stone unturned, to get better every single day. If I lived that way, then over time I'd have something beautiful. That was my philosophy. It seems simple, but if you live your life just to get better every single day, and you do that for 20 years, what do you have? When you begin to understand and acknowledge your fear, and you go forth anyhow, you go forth in a spirit and a knowing that there's a way you can handle this. There's a way out here somewhere. There's a solution. Whatever it is you're seeking, you have the capacity to handle it, to face it. Rather than feeling powerless, you begin to feel powerful. But there are few people who decide within themselves, I'm going to make it. Some people aren't waiting to be cut. Some are moving on their own because they feel within themselves, I've got what it takes to make it. Most of us are only 1 to 10% away from greatness, but we think we're so far away that we never try. Once I started going down this journey, I realized that those percents started to add up. Before I knew it, my mind started hardening. I started passing so many people I thought were far above me. Before I knew it, I became more uncommon. More steel. From this day forward, when you're learning something valuable, when you're making a decision, when you set a goal in that moment, you've got to do something that commits you to follow through later. Because if you act on it in a strong state, commit to something, and do something that commits you later on, you'll keep the momentum. If you keep charging, you'll find the way. People want to know how to stop laziness. How to stop procrastination. They have an idea, maybe even a vision. But they don't know where to start. They ask, where do I start? When is the best time to start? I have a simple answer, here and now. That's it. Where do you start? You start right here. Life is short. I don't have time to focus on what's not. I've got to focus on what is. Then get up and go get it. So I need you to understand where you are. We're not looking for perfect, but we are looking for opportunity. And we have it. So, say it, I need you to understand what you have. Then I need you to appreciate what you have. Then I need you to go after everything that's got your name on it, with no excuses. We have opportunity. Whatever you do, don't waste it. Don't cry about it. Get up and go make it happen. Nelson Mandela has a quote, in life, I don't lose. I only win or learn. So many people think they've lost. But if you just pull one piece of information that's good, a different perspective, extracted knowledge, a different way to go about life, a different way to not fall on your face, that's winning. They have everything inside them to do whatever they need to do. Over 23 years of my life, I've realized it's not this physical body. Have you seen your mindset? Have you seen the way you operate? Have you seen the way you react to situations, pissed off in traffic, thinking the world is happening to you? Let people know, the biggest and baddest people are handicapped and crippled by their limiting beliefs, by the things they tell themselves. That's why I say the biggest disability is a bad mindset. It's not this body. I walked a mile. I said, maybe I can walk one more mile. Maybe I can walk another mile. When your mind knows it's not going to quit, this is what I found out. my 40% rule. Your body will adapt to whatever is in front of it. That one day, that 19 hours, it wasn't SE training, Ranger School, Delta Force, any of that crap I went through. It was this 19 hours and 6 minutes that forever changed my life, to know that we as human beings are capable of anything. We don't need any special kind of parents or tools to get there. So I end you with this, so don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. If you can change the way you wake up in the morning, stop saying, I have to go to work. I have to work out. I have to get this weight off. I have to meet with people at the school. I have to deal with my coworkers. Change one word in that sentence, and everything about your life changes. I get to wake up in the morning. When you say, I have to, you take all your opportunities and blessings and wrap them in stress. You take all the stress off when you say, I get to. You initiate action. You go. Here's the reality, that idea isn't going to execute itself. That book isn't going to write itself. Those weights in the gym aren't going to move themselves. You have to do it. You'll get knocked down, but you won't be knocked out. You'll be able to get to your feet again. You'll be on the ropes, but you'll have a fast recovery rate when you work on yourself. Reinterpreting our past, understanding we can move from where we are, we can begin to design the kind of life that empowers us, gives us happiness, enables us to be on top of who we are. Understand this, keep rebuilding yourself in private. But make sure when you come back an absolute beast. Most people spend their entire lives wishing it was easy, wishing it was fair. It's not fair. Wishing it would line up to be perfect for them. Because they're waiting for this, and because it's never coming, they never go. And when they never go, they never become anything. That's what leads to a wasted life. Conditions are never going to be perfect. Things are always going to be hard. The only hope you have is to become someone who can push through that hard, regardless of what is going on. If you can build that level of discipline, that mental toughness to execute when things are not ideal, when things are extremely hard, nothing can stop you. How many really uncomfortable situations are you putting yourself in? Situations that challenge you, grow you, push you to the next level of being who you are. Are you under the illusion, and I love you as a friend, but sometimes you're under the illusion that you're going to get these external things you want without growing who you are? You could not be further from the truth. In fact, if you were to acquire those things without growing who you are, we understand the power of identity. You will eventually lose those things because they're not congruent with who you are as a person. Do all that you can do. And when you've done all you can do, and hell still comes to breakfast, let it finish. Then pick up the pieces, learn from it, and start all over. There's a great quote from Mark Manson. He talks about the most important question to ask yourself: what pain are you willing to endure in your life, rather than, what pleasure do you want? Because any pleasure or pursuit you want is going to come with an in-kind payment of pain. The beautiful thing about life is that you get to choose your heart. Everything in life is hard, but you get to choose what your heart is. It's really hard to live a life of purpose, working on something you care about. It's also really hard to live without purpose. You get to choose the thorns you're going to have on the path of your journey. It's something I think about constantly. How can I endure this a little bit longer? How can I embrace this part of whatever I'm going through? The right choice is, you can either go out and build your dreams, go through all the hard, get knocked down a million times, get punched in the face, get told no by everybody you love and everybody around you, get made fun of, laughed at, picked on, become the joke, and continue to move forward, build your dreams, and let your life speak for itself. Or, the other choice, you can quit, and you could be worse than what you were when you started trying to be better. Don't talk about what you're going to do. Don't just dream about it. Don't criticize somebody else for what they're not doing. You be it. Be about it. Be about that action, and go do it. Keep your eye on your intention. Don't let any outside distraction or your own insecurity stop you from your goals. Embrace that struggle. Surviving that struggle will strengthen you. What can one man do except give his best? If you fail, you try again. If you win, you try again and get better. So as long as you maintain, as long as you stay consistent, you'll forever be a winner and a champion in the eyes of the people who love you, because they support you nevertheless, as long as you're trying again and again. The legacy you leave has got to mean something to somebody. We've got to live for something bigger than ourselves. Some people will tell you that you don't need to change, but they're wrong. Because in order to achieve the things you want to achieve, you have to destroy the current version of you. Improvement and growth is change. You can't expect to get the things you don't have if you don't change the things you always do. Change is inevitable. You either progress or regress. The choice is up to you. If you're not being defined by a vision of the future, then you are left with the memories of your past, and you'll be predictable in your life. If you're not creating anything new, that means you're believing in your past more than you're believing in your future. So if a person is living in anger, impatience, resentment, frustration, and they're holding the intention of their future, there's no vibrational match between anything and their future. Because they're saying, why hasn't it happened? They're waiting for their success to feel abundance, waiting for something outside to change how they feel inside. And if you're living in that lack, and you know you're creating your future, you're creating more lack. If you're reacting to the people and conditions in your life that are all known to you, then your thoughts and feelings are equal to everything you know. You keep creating the same life. It is simply this: you are thinking 1,000 different thoughts in 1 hour. You are doing around 500 different actions in that hour and experiencing 20 different emotions. When you think about it through that lens, it is now this finite structure. If you live with complete intention, to use your thoughts with intention, leading to intentional actions that create the feelings and emotions of joy for the majority of your life, that little framework right there is how you can literally take control of time and ultimately create a harmonious existence for yourself. Really look back and think about all the things that led to you reaching those moments. It's going to be the tough times. It's going to be that depression, that anxiety, that heartbreak, that setback, that injury, whatever it is, that loss. All those things, in the moment, felt like the end of the world. You're going to look back in hindsight and see how they were actually building you up in a way you just couldn't see then. Remember, there is nothing in this world that can hurt you as much as your thoughts. And there is nothing in this world that can heal you as much as your thoughts. The most important conversation is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it. You walk around with it. You go to bed with it. Eventually, you act on it. The fact is, you are more amazing than you've ever imagined. You're more qualified, more gifted, more youthful, more meaningful than anyone has ever defined or told you you could be. There are times you've tried to talk yourself into believing your value by looking in the mirror, and you haven't gotten the right reflection, because you haven't said it with the right inflection. You're missing out on everything because you're waiting for someday. You're waiting for someday to feel ready. Someday for it to be perfect. Someday? Well, I'll tell you what, today is that someday. If you want to attract what you want, you've got to see yourself already with it. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. You've got to become what you want. You've got to realize, the minute you hold your mind in harmony with the good you want, then you've already got it. It's only a period of time till it manifests in physical form. That's called the perpetual transmutation of energy. That is a law. The first law of the universe. How badly do you want it? You've got to pay a price to be the best. The best pay a big price. You've got to work harder. Commit more. Take more responsibility. Deal with more ups and downs. If we can deal with that question, how much are you willing to suffer? Then we can move forward. The size of your dreams must always exceed your current capacity to achieve them. If your dreams do not scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. If you start off with a small dream, you may not have much left when it is fulfilled, because along the way, life will test your dreams and make demands on you. Be the spin the block man. Spin the block. It might not be your day. It might not be your week, your month, your year. Spin the block. Knock again. Knock again. Keep calling. Keep showing up. Keep doing what you've been doing. It's going to pay off. You don't see it right now, but I promise you, it's happening. The roots are growing. The fruits are coming. I never ran track, but I've always heard that if you ever want to be faster, you've got to run with people who are way faster than you. There's something that happens with us as humans. When you are surrounded by those superior in their performance, you're bound to be lifted up. If you're as ambitious, if not, you're wasting everyone's time. Success is something you attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself. Personal development. See, the major question to ask on the job is not, what are you getting? The major question is, what are you becoming? You want to know the secret to achieving everything you dream about. Don't quit. See, when you know what the destination is, there are a million paths to get there. It took me a long time to learn that the greatest moments of growth and success happen right after you feel like quitting, but you don't. That's the secret. Keep going. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Right now, there's a rebuilding stage. Right now, you have a chance to rebuild. Look, go. Because what you're doing is looking at everything that went wrong. But you're not looking at what's going to go right tomorrow. Once you sit back, just sit back, write everything down. Write your list. Write down where you want to be, who you want to be, where you want to go. Look around you. Look at your environment and say to yourself, what do I need to move out of the way so I can get to the places I'm trying to go? That's why people have scars. They're a reminder. In memory, there's something you get past and something you live through. But at the end of the day, they're almost there. All fools in life have one thing in common, according to the Stoics. What they all have in common is they're always getting ready to start. They delay living because they think they have the future. They think they have forever. They say, I'm not ready. Or, I'll do it after. Once this thing happens. When conditions are more favorable. They never say, I'm never going to do it. They say, I'll do it later. But no one knows what the future holds. No one knows how much time we have left. Life is happening right now, this second. In fact, the time that ticks by, the Stoics say, belongs to death. It's dead. It can never be recovered. So don't be a fool. Don't delay. You could be good today. Seneca reminds us instead to choose now. You have to work harder than you think you possibly can. Can't hold grudges. It's hard. And it doesn't matter how you get knocked down in life, because that's going to happen. All that matters is that you've got to get up. Why are you only doing one thing? Why don't you do? Because you're scared. The question is why. I'm just trying to get to why. Who's going to judge? My friends, every person here that's not 100% happy, including myself, is not doing something because of judgment from somebody else that you are not aware of. You don't know yourself. You don't know other people. So the key here, in going about your patterns, is to be aware of those patterns. If you're not aware, you will repeat them your entire life because you don't even know they exist. My friends, until our society, and this country especially, redefine success as being happy, not being rich, everybody will continue down the path we're seeing. The number one unlock to happiness in this room is to go out there after this talk and get naked about your vulnerabilities. What you suck at. Take a step back. Go humble. This is about losing and humility at the forefront, and nobody's talking about it. If you actually spent part of the day thinking about your own thoughts, you would realize that well over half of your thinking revolves around other people and what they have, comparing yourself to them. Your career, your power, your success in life depends on your ability to bring out your uniqueness. To bring out your originality. To be different from the crowd. To show what's different about you. That's your source of power. I call that in my book your life's task. You have to be honest with yourself. Because if you're incapable of that, you have no prayer of happiness. And being honest with yourself is hard. My friends, we are so good at casting judgment on everybody else. We're unstoppable at that. We're not doing that to ourselves. Where you're always thinking about what other people are doing, how you can fit in, how you can impress them, you're going to lose a sense of who you are. Lose a sense of your soul. My question is, which one's better? Is it better to be happy, live within your means, and hit a number? Or is it better to chase the money and make yourself vulnerable and unhappy? I am enough. But enough of what? Every time I hear those words, I feel like they get stuck in my head, conflicting with all the words I've said to myself on repeat for most of my life. Yeah, I haven't been very nice to myself. Bottom to top, I spent most of my time focused on why I was not enough. Flat feet. Too slow. Chicken legs won't grow. Self-deprecation was an occupation. I went pro long ago. And I know the mind learns through repetition. No matter how quiet I speak, it's always around to listen, creating the vision of who I am based on my self-talk. So why not speak what I can, and stop all the cannots? Because I've got a lot of nuts. I've thought a lot of thoughts that brought a lot of not enough. So I fought to make them stop. I finally gave my ego what it wanted, and I told it what I am not. I am not dumb. I am not ugly. I am not giving up. I am not weak. I will get back on my feet no matter how much I slip up. I am not broken. I am not afraid. And so when the going gets tough, I can see what I am not. And it reminds me, I am enough. I am enough strength to overcome any obstacle placed in my way. I am enough courage to keep my heart open after heartbreak. I am enough will to get through any hard day. I am enough fun to turn all my work into play. I am enough pride to not be torn down by what others say. And I am enough humility to own up to all my mistakes. It doesn't take a special ability, just a perspective shift, to go through this list and always remember this. For everything I'm not, there's something that I am. For everything I can't, there's something that I can. I can be happy. I can be free. I can be authentic. In fact, I'm already me. And I am so grateful and proud of me and everything I am. And so for the rest of my life, I will do whatever I can to remember that, yeah, I am not a lot of stuff. But there's one thing I am enough. The biggest challenge you face is going from believing to knowing. We are Imagineers. We have this capacity to conjure up delightful future possibilities. Choose the most amazing possibility, and then pull the present forward to meet those possibilities. Many people live in that world. It's the world of appearances. The world of lack and limitation, fear, doubt, and worry. The world of business as usual. Humanity will never solve any of these problems. So just get rich, be happy until you die, or be angry and bored until you die. But the moment you begin to break free from that construct, you begin to see a different world, a world where you have the ability to think independent of circumstances. Independent of your historical self. Independent of anything that's happened to you. And to make a new choice. My destiny is not in your hands. People who are manifesting their greatness find a way to win. Muhammad Ali, knocked down the first time by Joe Frazier. Howard Cosell asked him, "Why did you jump up so quickly?" Muhammad Ali said, "I looked around and saw where I was." A canvas is no place for a champion. See a world of possibility. You begin to see a world of opportunity. You begin to see a world where your assignment is. In the first world of appearances, it's just trying to make it in the construct of separation, comfort zones, conveniences. In the second world, you see opportunities. You see possibilities. That this is possible. That this is doable. That each and every one of you, when looking in the mirror, when you have that faint disquiet late at night, when you haven't slept and are anxious and don't know your purpose, or think you might not have enough impact, think exponentially. Understand it's not just metaphysical, spiritual bumper sticker lingo, though that's all good, too. This is all grounded in tangible fact. Also, it's both. It's poetic truth built on data-driven extrapolations. In life, you will always be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities, brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges. You're not in the past. You're not in the future. You're not in the present. The past, shame, blame, immature pride. Future, ambition and fear. Present sometimes is embarrassment and vanity. It can become an open door for the eternal now. Shitty things are going to happen to you, if they haven't already, and I'm sure they have. Many tragedies have befallen every person in this room. What I want you guys to recognize right now is, thank God. Because those are the things that weed out the sick and the weak. Those are the things that weed out the people who just don't have the fortitude to see it through. My ability to handle suffering. My ability to keep going when something is boring. My ability to learn. I endure. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how painful it is, and if it lives in service of my goals, I do it. What gives you confidence, not being afraid, is overcoming the fear. I found out the whole key to life. It's not in all that. You have to face yourself. So many people live to be 100 years old and die miserable, having everything. The questions you ask yourself will determine the course of your life. I had been asking, what do I need to do to get rich? So I changed the question. I started asking, what would I do and love every day, even if I were failing? Everybody's got a story. We don't share it on social media. We share our nice life. We all have a dungeon. I'm just willing to talk about it. Mental toughness isn't something you sample. It's something you live in every day. Life is chaos. It takes an inhuman amount of effort to bring order to that, to find success in the middle of that. So while I cannot promise you success, I can promise you failure. I cannot promise you happiness, but I can promise sadness. So if you know those are the guarantees, and the other things are what you have to strive for, you better be striving in service of something that in and of itself is interesting to you. If you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what talents, what books, what music, what leadership, what voice will die with you? I know the excuses. So do you. Of course you do. Listen as you rattle them off, one after the other. I am too tired. I don't have time. I need a rest. I'll do it later. I'll work extra hard tomorrow. I worked hard yesterday. Make it happen through force of will. Make it happen. Don't be weak. I believe the single most important skill is the ability to make effective decisions, because everything comes from decision. You only get new results if you take new actions. You only take new actions if the decision comes first. Decision is the father or mother of all action. Here's the truth. This is the reality. Nobody's going to believe in you until you've already done it. Nobody's going to come and celebrate with you until you've already done it. The work is going to come before the belief. Which means you're going to have to work for a long time by yourself, with no applause, with no awards. Nobody believes in you because you haven't done anything yet. That's the reality. What if you live your whole life only to discover that it was wrong? That you were chosen to do something else, and you didn't do it? Meaning comes from working on something. It's that simple. I think a lot about the act of going for a hike. The purpose of going for a hike, ironically, is not to get to the top. It's to be on the trail. If you focus on the trail, whatever step you're on, and you keep reminding yourself, this is going to lead me somewhere, that is where the meaning comes in your life. If I were to cut my hand and watch it, my nature says, heal up the wound. And I just have to watch it. There's a healing stream I am connected to that will allow that wound to heal. So my nature says, close up the wounds. Don't bond to them. Don't hang on to them. Close them up. Let them heal. And your nature also says, close up the wounds of your past. Close them up. and oftentimes we ignore our nature. If you want to be great, if you want to be a badass at whatever you do, you're going to be misunderstood by everybody. Because you're going to be so obsessed, so driven to get there. That's what it takes. Takes every second of your life. Anybody says balance. Yeah, balance is important for a lot of people. It is. But if you want to go to that edge, where people do not like you, don't understand you, question everything you can do, you've arrived. When people don't understand you anymore, you're in that spot of obsession and drive. It comes from when you make a decision to be disciplined. When you make a decision to be better. When you make a decision to do more and to be more. Self-discipline comes when you decide you're going to make a mark on the world. And if you think you're not disciplined or can't be disciplined, it's because you haven't yet decided to be disciplined. It's because you haven't created that discipline yet. Beliefs create, and beliefs destroy. Every belief you have either creates or destroys. The problem is most of us are not conscious of the beliefs we have. A belief is nothing but a feeling of absolute certainty about what something means. When you're absolutely certain about what something means, you have a belief. You might believe you're worthy or not worthy, but all you're really saying is, I feel certain about this. They literally change our life. We don't experience life, we experience the life we focus on. It's not what happens that determines the major part of your future. It's not what happens. What happens happens to us all. The key is what you do about it. It's not what happens, it's what you do about it. Demonstrate that you like yourself. Demonstrate that you accept yourself. Because if you like yourself, you don't go out in the world and look for other people to like you, because you don't need it. Most people go through life never discovering what their talents are. Most people never develop their talents. They have skills and abilities, but if you don't nurture them, if you don't develop them, they will never serve you. Your gifts can take you many places if you develop them. Most of us don't like to do the things that come easy to us. You have something you brought to the universe. If you decide that your life deserves developing this thing you do well, becoming the best at it, mastering yourself, seeing what you have within you, if you decide to drop your buckets where you are and develop your gifts, I grant you, you'll never ever be without.